You know what really grinds my gears? You can spend $50,000 on a pickup truck and still have to put cardboard in front of the grill so the antifreeze doesn't turn into Jell-O pudding. It's just not right. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. Now, if you're like me and you own the #1 selling pickup in North America, you'll know that the #1 selling pickup is not necessarily the #1 pickup in terms of it doesn't necessarily come without problems. So if you own a 1993 to 2017 Ford F-150, you've probably experienced this issue. And that's the fact that times like this, when it's, as you can see, cold as balls outside, the heater in the truck doesn't work. Now, this thing's got two jobs. Get me where I'm going, get me there comfortably. So here's the challenge. With the 2013 F-150, this thing's still fairly new, fairly low miles, shouldn't be having mechanical issues. What's going on? Well, there's one of three things that's going on. Easy one's thermostat, right? Change the thermostat, problem should go away. If it was that easy, I wouldn't be having this issue. So let's crack the hood open and have a look underneath. So you can see under the hood here, this is the 5-liter F-150. And yeah, it's pretty cut and dry what's under there. But here's what happens. There's two things that happen. It's minus 30. All of a sudden, there's no heat. What's coming out of the vents is like snowman farts. It's just cold. Cold, 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 cold. You can't get any heat. Option 2 is you fire it up, you let it warm up. Like the motor warms up. And you'll get intermittent heat. If you rev it up, it'll blow heat. You let it off the idle, it'll blow cold air. What the heck's that all about? Two distinctly separate things. So, if you've let it warm up, you're going down the highway, it's just blowing snowman farts, you're not getting anything even when the motor's under load. Chances are, up under here, you've got an actuator door that probably gets a little bit of humidity in there. And when it gets super, super cold, that actuator door, when the truck shuts off, will close, right? Now, when it's closed and there's humid air in there, what's it going to do? It's going to freeze shut. So then it doesn't matter how hot your truck gets, your motor gets, unless there's actually hot air that can pass through it, nothing's going to defrost. It's just deadheaded. So the easy fix for that is just wheel it in the shop for a couple hours, let some warm air circulate in there. Obviously, that's not an option for everybody because they don't always have a big shop like that. So what can you do? Grab a little space heater, passenger side floor, stick it right there, blow it up underneath the dash, probably 25-30 minutes. That actuator door will be defrosted. And then you just come to the hot, cold knob and just go back and forth a couple times, make sure it's free and clear, and your temperature control is working fine. That's the easy one. Now, you can go through all the trouble of replacing your actuator door, but so in our experience anyways, at least once or twice a year, that will happen because that door freezes shut. Now, let's talk about what's really happening with the wife's pickup. So she said the other day, she says, well, it's not working. It's just cold. So I come out, we fired up the truck, let it warm up. I come out, it was blowing lukewarm air. I revved it up, I noticed the air got hot. And then I let it go to idle, and the air got cold again. I thought, that's not right. Come out here, checked. Well, we're low on antifreeze. That seems like a pretty easy fix. Which, by the way, I'm just going to pop this cap off if I can. Oh, maybe I can't. Maybe I need to use my other hand. It's not quite the jar of pickles I thought it was going to be. Anyways, that's on super tight. I'll get that off later. You have to ask yourself, why is that low on antifreeze? Did I blow a head gasket? I mean, if I blow a head gasket and this thing's puking antifreeze out the vent, well, I might as well just drive it to Walmart and leave the keys in it running in front of the front door and just say, see you later, for what it's worth. But the reality is no, there's more than likely there's a leak somewhere. Now, on the 2013 F-150, right down here, so you got the air intake, comes off the air box, comes down here, and you can see there is a 2-inch pipe, comes right off the top of the radiator here. That connection right down there where my finger is, Ford engineers, and they built the OEM part for that hose connection there. They have an O-ring inside. It's a square O-ring. Now, when you park this thing and the motor's super warm, you shut it off and it's 30 or 35 or 40 below outside, that O-ring contracts. And a square O-ring on a flat surface. Doesn't have a lot of room for contraction before it can leak. And so one day you'll just come out and there'll just be 3 cups of antifreeze underneath your truck, and you'll wonder, well, where did that come from? Because you can't find any leaks on anything else because it's sealed itself up. And that's where it is. Now that O-ring costs anywhere from $5 to $7 to $10. It's cheap, right? And for the time it takes to undo 1, 2, and that's a clip. So 2 hose clamps and a clip, you can have that fixed for, yeah, $5 to $10. Or you could take it to the shop. The shop will do this for about $120 an hour. And it'll probably take them the best part of 30 minutes to disassemble this and put the new O-ring and pull it all back out. So keep that in mind. Now, so that we've discovered that, that's the issue. The replacement O-ring for it is actually a round O-ring, and it is much more, has a lower durometer, I guess. So it's a softer rubber and is I guess less inclined to leak. But yeah, check that first. Check that first. See if you're low. If you're low, chances are that's probably where your leak is. Solve the world's problems for $7. I actually had to fire the truck up. I'm gonna let it warm up for a little bit. That surge tank cap is actually froze on. Yesterday when I was troubleshooting this, I did actually add 2 cups of water just to bring the level up, see if it made a difference, which it did. Now, you're thinking, it's 30 below. Why would you add water to your antifreeze? Well, I just got some antifreeze that's 100%. I can blend it off and instead of adding the 50-50. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to freeze or crack or blow anything up. I shouldn't say I'm not going to freeze anything. I froze the lid on. But anyway, I'll let it warm up for a couple minutes and then that cap will come right off. I'll top that antifreeze up to cold level. Then I'll let the truck fully warm up and we'll see if we got heat. We'll have heat. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I went ahead and added some antifreeze. Now I shouldn't have to tell you this, but when you add antifreeze to your vehicle, read the cap, read the manual, whatever it is. Each of these manufacturers has a specific type of antifreeze you're supposed to use in it. Rumor has it is that if you mix the two and they're wrong, things can gel up, or it can mess up your heater core, it can plug off ports in your engine. Bad news bears. I don't know if it's true, but I certainly don't want to pay the bill to find out. Anyways, topped up, and right away, motor actually idled down, and you can see from the windshield, we're getting heat right away, so we're in business. So just to confirm that we've solved this problem, when you come in the truck, once you brought everything up to temperature, you're gonna wanna set your blower to your dash vent so it's blowing at you, put your hand over top, idle the truck up to about 2,500, 33,000 RPM. Does it get warmer? It shouldn't. And then let it go down to an idle again. Does it get colder? It shouldn't. You should have a consistent temperature all the way throughout. And it appears that we have solved this problem. So you might be wondering, what's the advantage to owning one of these F-150s if from 1993 to 2017 they've consistently had heater issues? Well, here's the thing with the F-150. Being the #1 selling pickup in North America means there's literally tens of thousands of them out there. And that means that out of the tens of thousands, there's probably at least hundreds of people get online forums, putting their heads together and solving these problems. So the guys like me don't need to go into the shop for $120 an hour. I can look it up on YouTube, I can look it up on the forums, I can go buy the OEM part from Napa or the dealership or wherever and come back and solve that problem myself for a fraction of the price. Now, if I go buy a Toyota Highrunner, Toyota Highrunner, is that even a thing? I don't know. You get my point, right? Something that's a little less common. I probably don't have access to all those resources, all the mind power that's up there. Anyways, it's extremely cold out here today. It'd be a really good time to go inside, drink a cup of tea, eat a piece of Christmas cake, and not freeze my fingers. So hopefully you found this useful. If you did, go down below, smash like, smash subscribe. There's more than just F-150s on here. There's sheep, there's pigs, there's cows, there's tractors, there's all kinds of cool stuff. But for now, I'll let you go. I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.